Huh? Huh? Don't shoot. Bloody hell. I'm sick but also terribly bored and I need to do something or I'm gonna go mad. So I thought I would take my sickened frustrations out on a poor little shotgun that probably doesn't deserve it. Or does it? Cue ominous Vsauce music. The Tenet Detron is quite interesting. It doesn't actually require Mastery Rank 16. You can get it as soon as you can kill the sister that's wielding it, which is how you get it. And it does pure radiation damage with a base multi-shot of 10. Its crit stats are somewhat mediocre, an 18% crit chance with a 2x crit multiplier, though the status chance of 10% per projectile is quite saucy. So let's give it a shot, shall we? I have a magnetic-based Detron. Don't necessarily remember why I got it. Maybe because it has radiation, so you can do radiation, magnetic, and corrosive. Let's get an adapter on this. I think the play here is gonna be pure status with a... I cannot stop sneezing, but yeah, I think empowered is gonna be the way to go here. Worded strike for base damage, diffusion for multi-shot, let's not forget about lethal torrent again, jolt and pistol pestilence, as well as 22%. Let's do a dual stat. Heat or scorch. There we go. 28%. That's quite good. Corrosive, heat, radiation, and magnetic. That's quite cool. Blimey, I almost forgot about galvanized shot. Yeah, that would have been bad. Let's stop being stupid and move this over there. You know what? Yeah, the mag's not terribly big. So faster reload speed, more status. Sure. Let's not be too crazy right here. 100 should be enough to begin with. Oh, that's quite lovely, actually. The magazine is a little bit small, but... Look at that armor strip. That's terrific. Let us also not forget... about the secondary fire. Yes, this is a rapid fire thingamabob for secondary fire that unloads the entire magazine, which has tremendous DPS for the bigger, beefier guys like Bombards. That's nice. Might as well add Harold for the vital priming. Bloody hell. That's some serious damage, my dudes and dudettes. I think we may have hit the nail on the head right away. Seems pretty solid for the Berber as well. Stop snaking around, you bastard. Let's use the secondary fire. There we go. Good stuff. Yep, not a big surprise. Shield boys go down really fast as well. I was thinking maybe we should run lethal momentum, but the projectiles seem really fast. So maybe like steady hands instead, if you don't like the recoil. But I think you can just leave the exhaust empty and it should be fine. Let us see what it do in an actual mission. It seems to be getting worse the more I talk. Blimey. Now, I know there's an augment for this. Thermagnetic shells it's called, and it makes enemies explode, which does some magnetic damage, but you can't really make that work without Toxic Lash. Another sneeze. The damage is just not there. It just doesn't do enough, so you'll be nerfing your damage quite a bit for not much in return. So if you want to make thermagnetic shells work, you're gonna have to do it on Zarin with Toxic Lash, or I think you can do it on Zaku as well. I haven't done it on Zaku, but I've done a few setups like that on Zarin and it was really good. Not with thermagnetic shells, but with like acid shells and stuff. It might perhaps be a good idea to actually talk about the weapon and the setup, right? Would it not? So overall, feeling very good. It feels nice, it's super comfy, and the damage is much stronger than I expected it to be. The damage combination we have here is actually quite superb, right? Corrosive, radiation, magnetic, and heat means that basically no matter which faction we're fighting, there's a good chance we have something the faction is weak to. The distribution of the damage is quite good as well. Like our highest damage type is corrosive, so we're proccing primarily corrosive. We're still proccing a lot of the other elements, but it's mostly corrosive, so we're stripping away armor really well, which is what you need for empowered. Empowered damage gets diminished quite heavily with armor. I'm curious to see what this will do against an Acolyte, because the secondary like rapid fire should be good. But then again, it is not a crit build, and you usually won't crit for Acolytes. Unless, you know, you have so much damage you can one-shot them even without critting. Hiya bud, how you doing, Mullies? Let's see. Not bad. Yeah, that's not bad for a status build. Yeah, as far as status builds go, this is pretty much as good as it gets. I know I've said it many a time before, but I will say it again. Empowered setups are the best because they have zero ramp up. And they do good damage, obviously, on the right weapon. I'm terribly sorry, my good chaps and chapettes. I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit short. My brain is melting. I'm dying over here. Like, I don't understand. Whenever I get a cold, which is quite rarely, it absolutely floors me for like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm fine. I just wake up on the 4th day and it's all sunshine and rainbows, but the first 2 or 3 days are absolute hell. Luckily though, it started on Monday and it is currently Wednesday, my dudes. So it should be fine tomorrow or Friday. So here's the final build for the Tenet Detron. It's on the screen, Lucas. Come on now. We have Hornet Strike for damage, Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Lethal Torrent for Fire Razor multi-shot, Galvanized Shot for status chance and condition overload, Stunning Speed for reload speed and status chance, and then we top it off with Scorch for heat, and then Pistol Pestilence and Jolt for corrosive and status. We don't have anything in the Exiles because you don't necessarily need it. The projectiles are quite fast, so lethal momentum is not necessary, though if you don't like the recoil, you can put in Steady Hands to reduce it. And finally for the Arcane, we have Cascadia Empowered for a bunch of damage from status procs. Now, if you want to run Thermognetic Shells, a Riven, or another mod, you would replace Stunning Speed on this, which is by far the weakest mod of the bunch. Okay, and for the Valence bonus, past me went for Magnetic, which was actually a good choice because nowadays Magnetic is quite nice for dealing with Eximus Overguard since it increases damage you do to it. And it shreds Porpoise and Corrupted Shields, of course. Additionally, unlike with many other builds nowadays, Emerald Archon charts for more maximum corrosive procs actually make a big difference here, since the damage you get from Empowered is diminished heavily by armor, so being able to strip it away completely with corrosion alone is really nice. And finally, having a priming pet that primes Vital for you is always nice, though this time around it doesn't make as big of a difference as on other builds because we're proccing a lot of elemental status effects already with the weapon itself. I was pleasantly surprised by the Tenet Detron. It ended up doing way more damage than I thought it would, and it's considerably more fun than I expected it to be as well. And that's coming from someone who is currently sick and in a rather bad mood. It feels good, it's super duper comfy, the damage is great, and it covers most of the factions, so you don't have to fuff around with damage types. It does well against everything. So I would recommend you give it a shot. It's quite nice. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for this series, no matter how silly they are, usually the sillier the better, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And finally, I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.